Hello and welcome to Let's Talk. My name is Principal Ademola Alex. Today on Let's Talk, we are going to be looking at fatherhood deficit in female. You might wonder, what is that? So just hold on. I have a very wonderful guest in the studio who is going to be briefing us on what are these deficits. We live in a society where people think female can play the fatherly role in any child's life. But I always say there are some roles, there are some functions female can't play. And that is evident if the way we interact in our society, we look at those deficits in our children. So I have with me in the studio Gideon Ohioze. I hope I pronounced that name right. He is the Value Added Fatherhood Academic founder. He have been on this, he's passionate about raising fathers who are raising fathers. So welcome Gideon to this program.
Thank you very much.
Nice to have you again. Honestly, nice to have you again. Let's look at the fatherhood deficit in female. Let's add it up. We live in a society where we tend to play any role that we see. So let's look at first of all, let's have the basics.
Okay. Well, I'll start this way. You know, for like 8 months, undergraduates were at home.
Yeah.
ASU strike. You know, and I can imagine that during the ASU strike there were cases of unwanted pregnancies, vices, and all of that. Now, if we want to quantify what we lost from the ASU strike, I mean, it will run into several billions of naira.
The ones who can quantify.
The ones who can quantify. Now, in the same way, when oil workers go on strike, you can begin to say, wow, our economy is losing so much, When telecoms workers go on strike, we can't communicate. But the truth is that when fathers go on strike, and what is strike now for fatherhood? When fathers refuse to do the needful, to play their role, now there's no way you can quantify what we lose as a people when fathers refuse to do the needful. And it's so bad because the effect of fatherhood absence has generational effects. What a father fails to do now most likely will be replicated in the lives of his children, except drastic measures are taken to curtail that tide. Now, what's fatherhood deficit? Fatherhood deficit, fatherhood absence. Now, when we say fatherhood absence, it means a situation where a father is physically absent from his family. And it happens in two ways. It's not just a physical absence. Sometimes he is physically present, but emotionally absent. Now, I'll look at the two angles. The one we're very familiar with is, okay, there's no father in the house. We don't really see that. Sometimes, even when the father is in the house, he's not playing a role. He also has a backlash on the children. Now, what are the things that cause fatherhood deficit or absence? Number one, what leads to it? Number one, death. When a man dies, And when it comes to this issue, people get emotional. Okay, that's not within anybody's power.
That one is excusable.
But the truth is, not all deaths are. Some deaths are avoidable. I'll give you instances. There are men who have died from alcohol. They got drunk and they were driving and I know.
They died, yeah.
I know people like that. Some men have died from their own recklessness. Okay, you enter into a deal with a fellow man, the money comes out, and you think you are smart as a father, as a man, you run away with it, right? Now, not every person believes in this, God will judge him. Some people take laws into their hands, and some men lose their lives in the process. There are men who fish in troubled waters. As a man, you are eyeing another man's wife, or you are going out with somebody's girlfriend. Some people don't take it lightly. Some other men have died from sexually transmitted diseases. So when we talk about death, yes, I don't want father to feel, oh, that one is not that. We must be careful as a people, as fathers, so that we don't buy trouble with our hands. And that calls for a very deliberate living concerning fathers.
As a father, deliberately.
Yes, be deliberate. Watch your steps. Be careful. Then number 2, imprisonment. Some may go to prison. Sometimes for offenses committed, or some other times wrongly accused. But most of it we know they are based on offenses committed. So it also calls on fathers to be careful the way you live your life. And what I've discovered is that the day a man discovers what he means to his children, his life changes. If you understand that without you, of course there's God, but God has placed us here for a purpose. Without you as a father in the life of your child or in the lives of your children, that something will go wrong, then you'll be more...
Stop living recklessly.
You stop living recklessly. So imprisonment. Then there is job. There are jobs, job issues. There are men who their jobs take them round. You know, every 5 years he's transferred. So he just tells the family, you know what, you stay in a place like Lagos, but I'll keep going round. Now, of course, we're not saying men should not work. Men should work, but you must put in place a strategy to ensure that you keep in touch with family. Because if that strategy is not in place, then before you know it, you may just end up, maybe getting yourself another woman somewhere. You forget your family, which is bad in itself. So there are the issue of jobs. Then there is this relocation fever. Nigeria is this, Nigeria is that, yes. Then a man says, okay, you know what, madam, you and the children relocate. Now, that's one trend that if we're not careful about, tomorrow's, the negative effect it will have on society tomorrow is what we cannot handle.
It's already having, we're already seeing it now.
You understand? Because now, the first thing I even tell fathers is, if you ever have a plan of relocating your children and wife abroad, for me, I believe in complete relocation. If you want to relocate, okay, go with your children. It's harder raising children out there than here. That's one. Then number 2, to leave a woman alone to raise children there, and you think all you do is sending money, is it won't work out. You won't get the best out of it. So even before you talk of relocation, families should actually go for counseling. Let your children know that you are relocating. Put structures in place. You understand? But much of what we see today are like ad hoc. All of a sudden, oh, we have to leave, and people are separated like that. And children are denied the privilege of and the presence of a father. So there are also those issues. Then there's the issue of separation. A man wakes up one morning and he just disappears. He takes a leave. And for years, nobody knows where he is. We don't have time to go into why people do that.
Yeah.
But they happen. There, of course, divorce. I mean, when 2 persons say, okay, we can no longer deal, let's go our separate ways. But in advanced countries, there's what's called a parenting plan. And a parenting plan is such that ensures that the man and the woman, they have equal stake in the child's life. So even after their separation, they are still able to, because the simple reason is this: it takes a man and a woman to have a child. I mean, there's a part of a man in the child, there's a woman in the child.
But yeah.
You understand? So it also takes a man and a woman to raise a child. So even if you guys now say, okay, bad as it is, I mean, that okay, we're fed up, your input must be in these children's lives. But sometimes that doesn't happen. When some women, in a bid to pepper the man, they deny him access. There are instances like that where some even travel with the children.
I think that's where this deficit of the fatherhood deficit in the female.
Yeah.
Because I'm not trying to be particular, but some female believe that, oh, I can raise my children alone. I can raise my children. I don't need a man's assistance. I don't need his whatever. But actually, are we raising a total children?
We are not raising. That question. That question is big. You know why? We are not raising two. I had a conversation with a friend some weeks back, And he said the greatest gift a child can have is the gift of a good mother. And I said, I disagree. A good mother is good, but a good mother is not enough to raise a whole child. Now, it's like, let me say, fatherhood and motherhood are complementary. They are like two sides of a coin. You understand? Now, if somebody gives you a bundle of 1 million naira notes, you run thank God, there's a breakthrough. And you get to discover that the reverse side of the money is plain.
It's plain.
It's waste, it's paper. It's even worse than paper, because there are some things you can use paper for, you can't use that money for.
And if you tender it anyway, you'll be arrested.
I mean, you'll be arrested. So parenting, a child needs a combination of father and mother. So it doesn't matter how good the mother is, very good, but the input of the father is necessary to raise a whole child. So we appeal to, and you see, this narrative is what makes fathers think that, okay, Chebi is mothers, the woman is doing it, and you feel, I don't really have serious stake, but we have serious stake in it. You understand? Then there's the issue of sicknesses. Some men have prolonged sickness. It's very pathetic. They are sick for a whole long time, and sometimes they are left in a healing home by their families. And gradually, you know, distance, separation, the family begins to live as if he's dead, whereas he's not dead. No, we're not blaming anybody, you know, but that's the reality that that is
on ground.
That's on ground. Then there's this other one that happens where, you know, two young people get together, and you know, when you talk to people about abstinence, keep yourself, wait till you're married. They say, oh, we're mature, we can handle it. Then something happens, the lady gets pregnant, and the man denies.
And the guy said, I'm not ready.
Some people say they were not.
I'm not the one that impregnated you.
They say, I'm not the only one. I mean, only me. And you see, and when such things happen, sometimes even the parents of the girl reject the girl. In that state, in that state of pregnancy, they reject her. And you find some of these girls, they go through pregnancy, they are bitter, you understand?
Yeah.
They are all alone, struggling to survive. Even before the child is born, the child has been rejected. You understand? And of course, children, they understand, they feel, and sometimes...
Yeah, children, because the mood of the mother, the child affects
the child. So you find that sometimes, even after the child is gone, every opportunity the mother has to let her know that she came to disturb her life course, she seizes it. Every opportunity she has to let her know she's not welcome, she seizes it. Then a child who grows up under that kind of circumstance,
where he or she is being rejected outrightly.
Yes, by father and by mother. Now there's the emotional absence for fathers. Emotional absence. Now for emotional absence, the father is at home, he's in the house, but he's not connecting with the children. Now, sometimes, even when the father is physically in the house, I've come across instances where a man and a woman, maybe they have two children already, and they tell themselves, we're enough with these two, we don't need any more children. And okay, they talk about how to go about planning their family, you know, who should do what, and there's an agreement reached. Then somewhere along the line, the woman conceives after the agreement. And the man feels...
But that is not the fault of the woman.
Now you're saying that.
Because it's two of them had the issue, and maybe something happened one way or the other. So
good. Now, you'll be surprised. There have been instances where the man detaches from that child.
Yeah.
Even after the child is born. You see him relating very well with the first two, but with this last one, he believes that this one is the child.
Even there are some situations where the man needs a male child, giving birth to female child. The man disassociates himself from those female, believing that, oh, these are just these are not the children I need. I need a man.
Yeah.
The woman gave birth to another female child again. This is outright rejection.
Now imagine the long-term effect of such rejection for a child. The child will grow up knowing that she was never loved by her father. Right? Now, you see, the issue of fatherhood deficit is very real. And as men, we have to be very careful, because it's everywhere. I'll explain why. There are 24 hours in a day, right? If we say that every child leaves home at the age of 18, Every child will leave home at 18. That's 18 years, right? 18 years.
Because you become an adult by the law.
Now, at that, the child stays with you, primary, secondary school, the child does with you in the house, nobody, right? Now, do you know that out of 18 years, okay, let's do it with every day. A child, a teenager sleeps for 8 hours every day. Average. Now, if we want to add the number of hours babies sleep, it will actually be more than 8 hours every day.
In fact, I think I read somewhere where they said that for the first 2 years of the baby, like they sleep all through.
Thank you.
That means they live in what they call this wave, this brain wave, data brain wave, where they sleep all through. All they need to, if they are awake, is because they want to eat. After eating, they go back to sleep. They go back to sleep.
Good. So in 18 years, let's say, okay, a child sleeps 8 hours every day. I think that's a very fair estimate. Now, in 24 years, a day is 24 hours. So a child sleeps 8 hours. Now, let's say the same child goes to school for 6 hours on the average. We have been very fair now. Some children stay in school for more than 6 hours, right? That means 8 hours every day, right? The child is sleeping. 6 hours, the child is away at school. That's 14 hours.
14 hours.
The child is not in touch with the father. Now, let's say a child spends 2 hours every day on television and internet and cartoon. That's small, but let's be very fair. So, 8 plus 6 is 14, plus 2 hours is 16 hours, right? Now, a child gets home at 3 o'clock after school. Now, daddy doesn't come back until 6 o'clock thereabout.
Even some 8.
Even some 8. Now, let's say 6.
Even some 10. Let's be realistic.
Even some 10. Yes, even some 10. Now, if we say we're saying 6 just so that it won't be like an overkill, that means for another 3 hours, they are not with their father. So 8 plus 6 is 14. 14 plus 2 is 16. 16 plus 3 is 19. So for 19 hours every day, children are not with their fathers. Now, in 24 years, 19 hours is less than in 18 years. If this ratio is worked into years, it means that in 18 years, a father does not spend more than 4 years.
Totally.
It's actually 3.75 years. 3 years and 8 months. It means that in 18 years, although you say, okay, my child has stayed with me for 18 years, the child has spent about 4 years physically with you as a man.
And there's even possibility that in that 4 years, were you actually present?
Very good. Were you actually present? Now you just good. I like that. Now this is how it is. It is like in these 4 years, you are expected to teach the child everything he or she needs to know to stand well in life. It's like a degree. I mean, just because of a 4-year degree, there are some jobs that some people can never get without a degree. I hope you understand.
Yes.
It doesn't matter how intelligent you are as a person. If you don't have a degree, there are some jobs you can never get. Do you understand? Just 4 years for a degree, it makes so much difference. That's the same way. That 4 years, those 4 years, rather, they can mean the difference between failure and success in a child's life. And why are we shouting, in a sense, is that fathers, come and see. These 18 years you think you are spending, these children are staying at home with you, you have only 4 years.
You will actually spend with them.
But you actually physically spend with them in 18 years. So please, let's be intentional. Let's maximize these 4 years. Let's be innovative.
We're not even asking for more now. For that 4 years.
For these 4 years, let's give it the best shot we have. And you see, the moment this reality dawns on the father, I tell you the truth, and that's why we're telling fathers, don't think you have the whole time. That sometimes you meet some men say, I'm busy. I said, yes, I agree you're busy, and it's good to be busy. Because I don't even advocate for any man to be idle, to be jobless. But this is it for me. I mean, it has to do with priority and value. Number one, okay, you meet a man who works with CBN. Let me use CBN as an example. They are busy. And you tell him, okay, make time for family. And he tells you, I'm busy, I do this, I travel, I do this. Then, let's say that one day you get to the office. Maybe your first degree is in political science, or you find yourself in CBN. And there's a circular that this is a core banking institution. So if you don't have a a banking
Related courses.
if you don't have ICANN, CIBN, or ACCA, within 5 years, you lose your job. That same man that is crying that he's always very busy, you see him going to register for ICANN classes.
I will give his time to it.
He'll give his time to it. So what changed? What's the difference?
Value.
Value. Because he has seen that if he does this, his career will be enhanced. So until we see the value in children, we'll keep giving excuses. And that career you are enhancing at 60, once you are 60,
you're already going out of the system.
You're already going out of the system. Now imagine raising children with this mentality of I'm working.
You see, I always think maybe this is the reason why after retirement many men couldn't they can survive it. Because now the people you never have time for,
they are not the one
you're not coming back to have the time for them. Now they are busy. They have already moved on without you.
Good. And the memories are stuck.
So the memories are stuck, and he fall into depression or maybe stroke or whatever. Yeah. I think it's beginning to make sense now, because you discover that a man was busy all throughout his time. Now he retires. Then going back home, children are actually asking for time.
They have moved on. Yeah. They have moved on without him.
Some of them they hardly call you.
Yeah, of course.
Anyway, as we wrap up, let me hear your final thoughts.
Okay, let me say this, because when we talk about this, people say, okay, what should fathers do? And I say it's simple. We acknowledge the fact that fathers spend quantity time at work. Quantity, much time. We don't expect you to spend that time with family. Let's be very frank. But so fathers should learn to spend quality time with family.
Quality time
at work. Quality time to family. There is a way you play with a child for 1 hour. The memories linger. That's why we tell father, as much as you can. If you can't do school runs every day, do it once in a while. You understand? Do it once in a while. Structure programs into your family life that the children will look up to, so that they don't forget you. Then we're looking at the effects of fatherhood deficit. What are the effects of fatherhood deficit? The effects of fatherhood deficit in the lives of women. Yes. Now, there's a very unique relationship between a father and his daughters.
Yeah.
Oh no. In fact, the relationship that exists between a father and his daughter is different from what exists between a father and a son. Now, I've seen some fathers call their daughters mama, is this endearing name? They are so close, and sometimes actually you find that some wives, they have issues, they feel their daughters.
It's taking over their husband. They are always it's like the man, the daughter and the father, the son and the mother. So both of them are always at loggerheads.
It's interesting. And now imagine a situation where that girl is denied that opportunity. Now, many grow up. Now, this is what happens. For some children, they feel guilty. Yes. It's not their fault. They believe that it's because they did something wrong that made their fathers walk away.
I wasn't beautiful enough. How honestly, I wish we could continue this conversation. Anyway, we will continue this conversation another time. Honestly, starting from this place. I love you, and that's all we can take for today on today's program. I wish we have all the whole time to continue. My advice to every father there: understand your role. Like what he said, if you place a value on your family, how you live your life will be very important to you. If you know what your absence will cost to your children or your wife, how you live your life will be so intentional. You'll be careful where you go to, you'll be careful who you do business with, you'll be careful how you drink alcohol, you'll be careful with a whole lot of things, because you know your responsibility as a father. My name is Prince Jemo Alex. I will see you some other time. Bye.